Hi everyone. Let me quickly show you how you can convert a Python agent which has been built using the OpenAI Agents SDK and deployed on Heroku. How you can convert this agent to be A2A conform using MuleSoft. So let's take a look what I did. So let's review the code first. So this is my simple agent. It's more like a LLM agent with fast API. I've exposed this agent to be available via HTTP endpoint. And here you can see I'm using the OpenAI SDK for the agent development, and I'm building it. It's running on port 800, and I have here the resource where I can access via HTTP. This application is already started, so let's see how it looks like in Postman. This is the address I'm trying to access, and you can see it will come up and tells me a joke. Let's ask something else. So what is the capital? What is the capital of Germany? So it will reply differently. So you can see here it is functional. So I deployed this agent to Heroku, which is here. So it has been deployed on a OpenAI custom agent app on Heroku, and also from Heroku I can interact with the agent. So here this is the Heroku URL, and I can ask basically the same question: what is the capital of Germany? And it should reply with Berlin. And that's what I have right now. So now with MuleSoft being able to provide me the A2A support for my agents, how would it look like if I convert this to become a A2A conform agent? So let's dive in. The agent is deployed on this HTTP endpoint and it is accessible. So the first thing what I need to do, I will create a new Mule project and we call it A2A custom agent OpenAI Heroku. We call it like this, and I don't have any specs, so just click finish. A few things first, I need to load the A2A connector, which is not here. So let me go here, A2A, and I can load the A2A connector. This is the latest version, it's still in beta. But now I have the A2A connector loaded, and probably that's it. So let's create that wrapper. So here I can now define how I want this A2A agent to work. This will be using HTTP. Here I can define the name of the agent, which is the OpenAI agent. I can copy the path, paste it here. And here I will be just referring to the config properties file. So let's say this agent name. Here agent version I don't need, but this is the agent URL. We have here agent description. And the version will be hard-coded. Let's say it's 1.0.0. And now I need also minimum one agent skill. So let me define this as well. This will be agent dot skill dot ins one and ID. And I will just copy this and change the correct properties here, description. So these data will come from the configuration file. And that's my agent card already, which I defined. So next thing is I would like the agent to save certain A2A properties, because when you are sending a A2A request, you can see here some of the properties which are being sent. So I need to save the ID, which is the task ID. I need the session ID, and probably I need this this user prompt. So I will create a new flow here, a subflow in this case. And this subflow I will mention it's a setting defaults. And I need one variable, which is the prompt. And the prompt itself will be payload dot, let me see, payload dot, we go to params dot message dot parts, and I have here the first item, and then I have text. So that's basically my prompt where I can find it. Let me just quickly recheck. So it's under params, message, parts, params, message, parts, and text. Okay, so that's my user prompt, and I can write it here. This is a variable prompt. Why it's still red? Okay, so something is not correct, but we can come back to this later. The next thing what I need to do is I need to save the session ID. And the session ID is part of the payload session ID, payload.session ID. That should be it. Let's take a look. Payload.session ID. Okay, so now finally I need to have the task ID as well. So the task ID will be like task ID, copy like this, and we have here payload.id. And that's representing the task ID now. So I will now use a flow reference to call that flow. This is just setting defaults, and I'm going to call out to that specific flow. This is fine. Okay, so the next thing what I need to do is I need to call out to the agent API via request. So let's say this is the call out to custom agent via API. And I'm going to now copy certain things. So I have here the post operation. I need the Heroku URL. This will be entered here. Payload will be like, let's say, what do we have here? We have prompt. And here I'm having the vars, and it will be the prompt. So prompt. So this is my payload. And of course, I need headers. I need the content type at least, which will be content type is JSON. So it will be application JSON, application JSON. And that would be it for the agent. So I expect this will work. And finally, I need to set the response to be A2A conform. So I will have here JSON, and now I will copy the response from, where is it? So here I don't have it. Or maybe yeah, here I should have it. So this is the example response. I will copy it from here and paste it in. And now I need to adjust few things, which is vars dot, this is the task ID. I have the session ID is here as well. So this is, I think here I have 2 times the ID. So let's map it here. And I have here also the session ID, which will be here, vars.session ID. What else? And I have here the response. This should be payload.response. Let me quickly check. So this is what is returned by the agent deployed on Heroku, payload.response. This is fine. And same I have here. And that's it, probably. Let's run it and see what we have. Also, I need to update and add the properties file. This is something I forgot. Let's add it now. So config.properties. Let me be on the right path. That's fine. And on the config.properties, I need to add the agent name, which will be, let's say, general agent. Then I have the agent.host. This will be for the local one, localhost 8081, starting with HTTP. And when we deploy, we will change this to Cloud Hub. Agent.description. This is agent answers generic questions. And then I have the skill agent.skill.one.id. I think this was one. Now let's copy it. So we have here the name and we have the description. Description. This is general knowledge. Description is ability to answer or advise on any type of user question. Okay, so that's it. Let me just quickly recheck everything. This is good. We need to add the properties file as well in the global config. Configuration properties. This is here. And now I should be able to run it. Let's see. We will just watch what happens. So this agent is being deployed and it failed because of the agent URL. So there is agent URL and I called it agent host. So let's save it and redeploy quickly. So let's go. But now that's basically the whole flow you need to build in order to wrap an existing agent built in whatever technology using MuleSoft to be A2A conform. So agent is deployed. Let me ask the question. The question will be here to custom agent. Let me see if that's the case. I don't think the path is correct, but that's something I can adjust now. It is OpenAI agent. So that's what we are going to call. OpenAI agent. We ask for what? For US. Let's say this. And it says it is failing. So that can have now different reasons. Let's dive in. So we have here OpenAI agent. We need to debug this. So let's quickly debug. Stop. So something in the payload is not correct. That's when it returns 422. And we are going to see what is wrong in the payload. Yes, I want to switch the views. I will do a breakpoint here. And we are going to send out the request now again. So the request is here. And I can see what is it? It's null. Okay, so something didn't work. And what actually didn't work is this is something we need to pay attention for. What are we doing? So here, this is the way I'm extracting the prompt. It's a null, sorry. Then we have here message. So the message comes in like this. This is the payload we are receiving. So I will be saying this is message, and then we have the parts. And here we do 0 and then text. I think that's it now. Yeah. So that's how the payload comes in. So I will let it run. That's fine. And it will redeploy because I saved it. So give it a second. Once it is redeployed, we are good to go. So it's redeployed. We ask the same question. And this time we should receive the answer correctly. So you can see here exactly what's happening. We have everything. Not everything inserted correctly because I see the JPRC has been duplicated. Let's take a look what the issue is. I have twice the session ID is also not correct. So let's go in. So you can see here, this is basically what we should be returning. Okay, I should have saved it somewhere. So this is the original one. Let me just copy it here. It's much slimmer. Yeah, so the rest is done by the agent. So I need to just fix here the ID like this, and the rest should be fine. So let's save it. It will redeploy, and we hit again. So now you can see it's fine. When I change the ID of here, it should also be applied accordingly. So this looks good. Things have been mapped, which is fine. So this agent is ready to be deployed, and we can deploy this now to Cloud Hub. Before we do it, 1 second, the session ID is also empty. Let me check this. Why is this the case? So when we come in again from here, where's the session ID? So we see the payload, there is no session ID, so we need to make sure that we will generate a session ID. Default UUID like this, and same we do for task. Default UUID. So that should be it. Let's save it and wait until this is redeployed. It is, and now hit again. Now it is being redeployed, but now it is. Okay, so it's on the breakpoint. So now it looks much better. Yeah. So the information is now replicated and we get the answer accordingly. So this agent is now built. I can go to the next step and deploy it to Cloud Hub. Let me do it and then we will return. So the way I will do it, I will just export the jar and implement it in my Cloud Hub environment. So the agent is successfully deployed. Let me show you some of the things you need to consider. So after you deploy the agent, you remember we had this properties file. You need to set the agent URL accordingly to the deployed URL or endpoint. And this will basically then reflect or be reflected on the agent card here. And you can also use this to call the agent card. So let me copy and paste it here. First of all, we see if the interaction is working with the latest Cloud Hub agent. So this should be fine. We can see here the interaction is working. It's replying, and I can also now get the agent card with this URL, well-known agent.json. Copy it and paste it here as a get, and I should see this is the agent card. Still not 100% mapped. So this is currently being applied. Takes a little, but that's an ongoing process. But you can see we are already able to interact with the agent here, which is fine. The next step would be to secure this agent. So now we need to go to the API manager, and in the API manager, we can add a new A2A server, select the Flex Gateway we have provisioned, or even if it's a managed one by MuleSoft, this is also fine. And now I need to create a new one, and I call this A2A custom agent, custom OpenAI agent. And we can now wait until the asset is created in Exchange. So OpenAI agent, we call it. And then I will need to provide here the URL for Flex Gateway. Let me grab that quickly. So we go here, my Flex Gateway. I will copy this URL and then I can add it here. This is fine. So this is how I will be securing the agent. The downstream URL is something I can find here under applications, and this is the URL of the application itself. So this is my downstream URL. I can even say this is OpenAI agent. I think it was OpenAI agent. Let's quickly cross-check. It is OpenAI agent. Yes. Let's hit it. Yes, this is working. OpenAI agent. And we say this is just an OpenAI agent label here. Custom agent. That's it. I can save and deploy. And now I have this consumer URL set it up, which I can see from here if I'm able to access it. Let me maybe save it under a different name. So this is now secured. So let's say this one is the secured one, and I will just enter the full URL and see if I'm able to get a response. I am able to get a response, and the next thing would be when I apply policies. And the first policy which I would apply here is, let's go to the rate limiting policy, and I will set it basically 3 requests per minute. That should be fine. Should be applied to everyone. Expose headers so I can see what is left in terms of the request I'm sending. This should be immediately applied. So let's now switch here and see if we get a 200. 200, we don't have any exposure yet. Still not. But it says it's Anypoint Flex Gateway. No, I don't see the policy yet being applied. Now you can see it. Now we have the rate limiting here. So I can add one more. And now you will see that if I hit again, I won't get a response. It will just say too many requests. So that's how I have secured also now my agent here. Additionally, I can also do prompt decoration, agent card, schema validation, and PII detector. One more thing which I would like to show is here in Exchange. If I just refresh, I should have a new agent, which is a custom agent, and I can request access as usual by asking here for getting access to this agent, and it will be managed through the same way you have been managing APIs and MCP servers. So this is how you can easily convert a custom agent built in, for this example, in Python with A2A and deploy it into the MuleSoft platform and govern it through the Flex Gateway. Hope this was helpful.